Hello and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World with me, John Jordan. So in this video, I'm going to have a look at Raid Party. So Raid Party is, as you can see here, an idle yield MMORPG running on Ethereum. Let's have a crack through. So this is the white paper. This is the socials. And in some ways, this game is sort of very simple. You buy NFTs, or you have to have at least 2 NFTs, but it is a idle game. So you basically you create a party of up to 4 characters, and you just basically attack bosses. And as you do that, you earn an in-game currency that you can then use for various things. So what's interesting about this game is that there's been lots of idle games, free-to-play mobile idle games. So they're games where you sort of basically the game happens while you're not playing, and every so often you come back in and see sort of what you've won and sort of maybe reset some stats. So it's a very meta-based game. The first one of these here was as sort of mentioned in the white paper is Tap Titans, which came out 2015, and it was like it was a pretty big success. Although from quite a small indie, but definitely that was sort of the first game in free-to-play mobile. But then lots of people then took that as a template and then built actually bigger games, sort of games with more depth. It's an interesting genre to bring to blockchain, but anything sort of I think can be brought to blockchain. I guess the question here is, the point of an idle game in free-to-play mobile was it sort of got a bit boring. You couldn't get enough meta, you couldn't get enough sort of deep reward systems into it. It wasn't really social. Obviously, with blockchain, you're getting sort of potentially real life money rewards or real sort of crypto rewards, and you can sort of build guild systems around this. And you can kind of think, this is not how the game is at the moment, but you can imagine over a period of time they could build out something, and actually it could be an MMORPG, even though the game currently is sort of very simple 2D pixel graphics. We'll see. So you can read all about this if you want to. There's some tells you the basic sort of structure of what's going on. It has a whole bunch of math in there as well. So they have a token called the CFTI token, which is used for various things, and there are various sort of metrics about how much you earn. That is what it is. We'll have a look at let's have a look at the game first. So this is what it looks like, which is if you've ever played something like Tap Titans. Very very simple. There is a boss here, in this case the Harvest Priest, and I have one character who's attacking it, and basically all that's involved here is in an idle game is sort of the time. So the more powerful my character here, the faster, the more health points they reduce from the boss character, and sort of the faster I end up earning stuff. So we can see here my damage is 1,276. So every time it hits the boss, that's what comes off, and slowly this goes down over time. I have a hero character here who's sort of like has the only effect they have really at this point is they have a multiplier. So this is actually a low multiplier. Goes much higher than that if you buy expensive characters. And then you have fighters, and I only have 1 of 4. So you can see here I have 4 slots that I could fill up and obviously go faster depending on what their damage is. Here's the leaderboard. So we can see here I'm very low end, sort of at the lowest end sort of player. Whereas some of these, people, Pranksy, obviously well known as an NFT collector, they're on the leaderboard ladders. They are, would have the best sort of NFTs in the game and able to earn out much more. So why would you want to earn this token for a start? The main reason why is here for summoning. So I can create new fighters. So the 2 NFTs are fighters and heroes. So I can create new fighters. And if I want to do that, I need 100 tokens. So obviously that's one advantage. If you have these very high-end characters and these high multipliers, you can start earning out these tokens and then start creating new fighters. And if you don't want them, obviously you can just sell them off to people. We'll have a look at the OpenSea in a minute. Obviously you can see I've only just started, so but I'm I will never get to. Will I even be earning 1 a day? I don't even know if I'll be earning 1 token a day. So I imagine I might earn 100 tokens in 6 months or something like that, 4 months at least. So this level, I'm probably sort of you have to think about doing the math. as they say, and this is running on Ethereum mainnet. So all the gas fees you're paying are mainnet Ethereum gas fees. Gas fees are really low at the moment, but obviously we know that's not always the case. So this is definitely not investment advice. I'm not doing this. I'm not playing this game to make money. I'm doing it because I play blockchain games and do videos about them. So just be mindful of that. The other summon thing actually I didn't do here is you can summon a raid leader, and but to do that you need to have 20 fighters to summon. So you need the summon cost is 100 tokens and 20 of those characters that take 100 each. So again, it's an enormous sort of cost to do that. But I imagine that's what the Pranksies of the world are doing on this leaderboard ladder. They are sort of mining out these hero characters, these fighter characters, and then using those to create new heroes. Well, there's not much price differential at the moment, I would say. So it's probably something where the game is not that well balanced, I think. What else have we got? So I can enhance my characters, sort of level them up. I could enhance that, looking like from a level 0, I could do that. 25% chance, 50% chance of downgrade. I can't downgrade it because it's on 0, so that's a win for me. But obviously I'm paying the gas fee. There's no cost on that. Obviously, as it goes up, you're going to be using more and more tokens to upgrade them. It's probably worth looking into that. Guilds. I'm not in a guild, and if I join a guild, I can get this other token, G Confetti. I can boost my confetti earnings with G blessings and G bluff. So there is actually this sort of the deeper thing if you read the white paper, and I think this is where this sort of game will work much better in blockchain than in free-to-play mobile, is the ability to have guilds around that. It actually costs you money to create a guild, but then you can sort of you have a bit of social glue there. You can talk to people about which characters are best at maybe defeating which bosses. Although that's probably you wouldn't be messing around too much with that because the gas fees being an issue. But you just have the sort of social sort of thing of sort of being part of a group and doing some group stuff together. And I think looking at some of the screenshots as well, I think actually no, I'm not going to say that because I think it's incorrect. Anyway, so that's sort of what's happening in terms of the game. Let's have a quick look at what's going on in terms of the NFTs. So here are the heroes. So these are, you just equip one of these. So these could sort of work as PFPs. They're probably not quite at that level. But we can see here's 5,300 of them, 2,000 wallets owning them, floor price 0.5 ETH, a decent amount traded. And you sort of pick one of these. I just mainly picked one for aesthetic reasons. I didn't really look into the value, but I'm sure. Let's have a quick peek. And so we have some properties. Is it going to tell me what the... Okay, yeah, so we can see here the damage multiplier here is pretty high. No enhancements, and actually on this one, I think party size for all of them is going to be 4. It's 4 slots, isn't it? But yeah, you can just see this one maybe is worth more because you get a better damage multiplier. So there's some sort of economics into that. And then we have the fighters. So these are 8,300 fighters. Interesting that there are more owners of the heroes than there are owners. There's under 1,000 wallets that actually have these fighters. Floor price is about the same for the fighters as the heroes, which is sort of weird. I guess at the moment the game's only just started, so the economics hasn't really sort of kicked in yet. Really, the heroes should be much more expensive than the fighters in the sense that you're using, was it 20 of the fighters? But anyway, by the by. So we can see these are just sort of simple pixel characters, as we sort of saw before, and they have. Let's go and have a quick look. Again, they have their sort of characteristics. So. So this one, that looks a bit wrong, doesn't it? But anyway, there's the damage that they do. I don't know why that damage is higher than that number isn't higher than the second number. Anyway, not enhanced, so level 0, and you could get 4 of those. So you can kind of see basically to start off this game. At the moment, if you're buying 4 of those, that's 2 ETH, and then you're buying, so it's basically 2.5 ETH to sort of get started on the game at the maximum, sort of the floor price, but to fill up all your slots. So that's pretty expensive. What's that going to be? It's going to be like $10,000, something like that. No, not quite that, is it? 2.5. What was it for? It's about 6 ETH. So is that? Yeah, no, $6,000. Sorry, getting my ETH and my dollars probably a bit more than that, maybe between $6,500 to get started in the game. So definitely not investment advice that you should be spending $6,000 to sort of get into this game, because I don't think the what you get out of it is going to be is going to necessarily work out. But it is these sort of things, they are interesting experiments, I think, to get involved with. Will I be buying any more fighters? Probably not at the the current price. Maybe if more of these are created, I suppose, over time, then you'd think the price of these fighters is going to drop. So maybe, but probably I'll be more interested in seeing how. Probably the next step I'd have to do is actually join a guild and then see how that changes sort of the gameplay. But you can also imagine, this sort of thing happening on, different blockchains. Obviously, Polygon would be an obvious one. Solana, I'm sure, there's lots of game design thinking around idle games, which has done well in mobile, free to play. So you can imagine some of that coming into blockchain as well, and probably maybe some randomized rewards and all that sort of interesting stuff. And you can see I'm slowly creeping up here. I'm almost to 0.1. Obviously, I have to pay a gas fee because this is pending. I have to sort of have a gas fee to get this from pending into my actual wallet. Blah blah blah. Let's not go into that. Anyway, thanks for watching. This is Blockchain Gaming World, where we spend our time trying to make sense of blockchain games and playing a lot of them. Hope you find that useful. Please subscribe to the channel. But thanks for watching, and see you again soon.